every time you get closer to walking in God's will more and more, the devil's going to attack you more and more. So that's why it's all the more pertinent that you do make sure you stop and pray without ceasing. And then in Romans, what I was going to share, which is really cool because I talk about many times myself, just not even knowing what to pray or how to pray, just getting away in a silent space and shutting off the noise and the distractions and saying, God, I'm here, just like Samuel did. And he said, speak, Lord, your servant is listening. And just stay there. We all get impatient. We want answers right away. I myself am just as guilty of this, but it's just taking that conscious effort and making the time. And soon you find yourself going, okay, just 5 minutes is not enough. And, I need more time. And how am I going to carve more out? And so I feel like when we get ourselves in those spaces where we don't know what to pray and we are just kind of cutting away from everything, cutting it out, that's when we just need to say, Holy Spirit, come, have your way, speak for me, because he will. In Romans 8, and I'll read the 26th verse, it says, in the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. And he who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God. And I think that is just so profound. And when you just sit in his presence and say, take over, I find myself many times just saying, Holy Spirit, come. He's always here. He's always with us. He's always within us, but he likes to be invited in, more and more. And so the more you consciously do it and say it out loud, and I think especially in our prayer time, I think that's when we really start getting somewhere. And even if we don't get the answers we wanted, we do find ourselves aligned with the Lord in his will, surrendered to it, and we get that clarity and that peace that we need.